So let me give you an example in Marafa that my colleague also touched on. You hold the first meeting and then you realize that those who are disabled, traditionally not coming into the meeting, the elderly are traditionally not coming into the meeting. There are people who have been traditionally neglected in that particular community, and so they don't value any community gathering. In fact, they don't consider themselves part of any community gathering. And so the question is, how do you bring these people on board? I think in our case, when we held the first community meeting, and there was very few people who attended, then we asked the community, are there people who are not attending the meetings? And they identified all these people. Then we started going door to door to talk to each and every individual in that community and just try to make sure that, one, they understand what we were there to do and how different it is from the other meetings that they've been attending, and the value they will add to the community and to themselves by attending those particular meetings. So that was the bigger part of inclusivity.
Tulikuwa tukihusishwa, lakini ilikuwa si sana vile. Mwanzo tulikuwa ni kule kutengwa. Manake kama ni mradi wote umekuja huku kwetu, si rahisi pia na sisi walemavu tuwe tunahusishwa katika hiyo miradi. Si rahisi, lakini katika huu mradi nashukuru. Yaani nilihusishwa na kuanzia hayo mafunzo hayo ya kwanza mpaka saa hii. Nashukuru Mungu.
During the initial meetings, like I asked the community members whether they felt it okay to hold the community their meetings together as a community comprising of all those segments or those community subgroups, that is like the women, the youth, the children, the men and the women. The women definitely said no. There are issues that we cannot feel free to talk when our men are around, because it is bound to cause some conflict and some misunderstandings and some frictions when we go back home. And the children also said that they will not feel it very comfortable for them to talk their issues before their parents. They did subgroup themselves. It's not the facilitator who did the subgrouping.
Kuna watu walikuwa hawana ule uhuru wa kuongea juu wameona face tofauti. So walikuwa na ule uoga, lakini kwa sababu ya mwenye alikuwa anatu facilitate, alikuwa mtu poa, alikuwa mpole, ametueleza tukamuelewa na tukaanza kuongea vizuri bila wasiwasi.
Kuna hii aspect pia ya kuwapatia motisha participants kuweza kuvoice opinions zao na encourage na kuasistizia kuwa hizo opinions zote ziko valid. Hakuna opinion moja ni kubwa zaidi ya nyingine. So unapata wakati umewekea mazingira kama hayo na una encourage, inawapatia nafasi ya kuweza kuvoice opinions zao, na whatever kitu imetoka katika moyo wao eventually wanaweza wakaitoa dialogue.
Ni poa kama hujajisikia kuongea, si mbaya. Take your time tu, ufunguke vizuri alafu uongee.
The facilitator is trying to encourage those who are not talking to talk, but some of them are still not willing to talk, and he is telling them that's okay if you're not willing to talk. That it has taken over 23 minutes for a boy who was not talking to talk, and it is through the effort of the facilitator to try and encourage them to speak, to also share their experiences in that community. So it has been a continuous encouragement for those who are not speaking to try and speak up.
Sababu mwenye alikuwa anaongea na kwa upole, na alikuwa hana ile kufocus, yani kukuharakisha. Alikuwa wewe mwenyewe tu ujisikie utoe uongee vile vinyo, yani utajikuwa uko na maoni yako, ongea hayo maoni yako wenzako, kama wewe mwenye atakuwa anakuuliza pale afurahike.
All along it's the men who have been talking. Then facilitator notices that women are not, presenting themselves to speak the same as men. Maybe because men in that community are used to speaking first or speaking on behalf of women, then they naturally pick it up and start talking. And then women become laid back a bit. So he is giving an opportunity to the women to also speak out. The woman actually has a lot to talk about, but you realize that if she were not invited or given an opportunity to speak, maybe she would have kept quiet throughout the meeting. So this shows that the aspect of inclusivity also in a meeting like this is very crucial, because there are those who are naturally outspoken, so they would rise up or start speaking immediately. But there are those who also wait to be given an opportunity to speak.
Nimepewa uhuru wa kujieleza mimi mwenyewe. Nimetoa uoga hata kama nilikuwa siwezi kuongea mbele ya watu, lakini nashukuru. Imenifanya hata naweza kusimama mahali kuna watu wengi tena nikajieleza mwenyewe bila shida yoyote.